Good morning. Um, Hello, everyone. I am here with my publishing client, Oluchi Ndubuisi, and we decided to live stream a conversation about our coaching relationship and her upcoming book. So I'd like to introduce you to Oluchi. Oluchi, just say a few things about yourself if you like.
Sure, sure. My name is Oluchi Ndubuisi, and I am the owner and founder of The Coffee Cauldron. It is a platform where I publish my writings, and it is slowly evolving into a media company because now we've expanded to videos and publishing. So I can't wait to see what the future brings for this brand. But I am in the midst of publishing my first poetry collection, Tasteful Hypocrisy. And that is when I found Selena because I was having problems with the logistics of self publishing for the very first time.
Mhm. Okay. And I am so happy that you did find me. And Oluchi found me through the Hello Seven directory. I'm a certified Hello Seven coach, and I use my coaching expertise in the self publishing space. And my mission is to support the entire self publishing ecosystem, and that includes the authors, the creators that do the work that help a book to sell well, and just to make sure that that entire ecosystem is supported through my coaching services. So Oluchi and I went into a coaching um, program that's called the 10X Niche Network. And that is a program, a 6 week program that takes you through the entire publishing, um, self publishing process. And it teaches you the value of having a profit first approach to self publishing. And that means building a network of creators around you as you do that work. So, gonna just launch into a few questions to Oluchi to give you all some insight to what her experience is. So, Oluchi, when you first hired me, what was happening in your life?
When I first hired you, I already had a book that I published. Sorry, not published, a book that's already written, but I knew I was going to publish it, but I didn't quite know how to get there. So I was watching YouTube channels here and there, and some of that information was good, but it wasn't structured in the way that you structured it in the 10X program. So it didn't come in that blueprint format. It just felt like, today one person says one thing, and then I go and watch the next video, and that other person says, oh, you do this and you do this and you add this, and I already did the first, and they'll say, and you add this, but you add these things before you do this and this. So I already did this and this, and now I'm having to add this, but that step was supposed to be before the other things. So it was a lot of here and there, just firing off in all directions, no actual strategy. And that was when I said, I've had it. I need one person that has actually done this and put it in a structured program that is not, making YouTube videos here and there saying things that are good, but not in a way where it's beneficial for me in my publishing journey. So that was how I found you. And I went to the Hello 7 network and looked for. At first, I thought I needed to find a business coach. then I started looking through the directory, and then I saw that you were actually well versed in this. So I decided, okay, let me reach out to her on LinkedIn and see what she says, and then we'll go from there. And the rest is history. I'm so glad this is like first time lucky charm happened. It's not, go here, this person says this, that person says that. So I'm very lucky in that regard. I
Oh,
am.
wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So now that was then. Tell me what's happening right now. Where are you right now in your process?
So right now, I am in the process of I've taken care of a lot of things. I've done the copyrights. I'm now in the process of sending it off to the printers. So coming, I have it set. My goal is to have it for pre-orders starting April 15th. So, yes, that is the goal. But I want to get a proof copy and go through the final look through and make sure that everything is as I want it to be. And I also understand that this is my first time. So I like that I have all the workbooks and the handouts that you gave me. I like that I have all of those. So what I do now that we've completed that 6 week program is I go through, I have certain things on the obviously that is a lot. Like I don't have 20 heads. I'm not going to do everything on there. So I think what I'm doing now is I'm bookmarking the things that I know that I definitely want to do. And then I'm going to go through it slowly and slowly. And as this book keeps, even after publication, I'm going to reference back to that manual and keep trying things just to see just to develop my process from the process you already gave me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I try to tell myself to just give myself grace because this is my first time and it's not going to be all the way perfect. So I remind myself of that and every day. Any day I feel like I'm not doing enough, I should be doing, I try to remind myself that.
Oh, that is wonderful. And you need to be able to give yourself grace during a process like this because it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal to self-publish a book. Um, and although tens of thousands of books are published every day, your book is special and you have done a great feat by going through all of the steps, and I applaud you for taking the route that would give you the best opportunity for that book to have the most sales. You made certain investments in your process that will set you up to be recognized and taken seriously as an author. And everyone that is ever a best selling, multi book selling author started out as a first time author. And so you have joined those ranks and you made the investments. And I am super proud of you. And I think I've told you that a number of times
Thank you.
during our process. So I'd like to ask you what has changed for you since we began working together?
So like I said, before I met you, I was firing enough in all directions. But I like that now I have that structure. I definitely needed that structure. And you provided that structure. And it was nice to have, it was almost like having an accountability partner. So whenever we have our meetings on those Fridays, it was nice to know that okay, this is what I accomplished for this book this week. And this is what I'm going to go back to Selena and tell her, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I also like how the questions you asked with um, narrowing down the audience. Although I feel like personally, I feel like I won't really know for sure what my audience is until people start interacting more with my work. But that question really helped me go back to my book and reread it again and actually get out the key things that that book focused on. And it helped me make a whole new trailer for that book that I didn't even consider making before. So I like how a lot of our conversations, even though it's on the audience building, understanding, your readers. A lot of our, I think it was week 2, 3, and 4, around that week 2, 3, and 4. A lot of those things helped me go back to the book and reread it, partition it out, just take it apart in a way that I haven't taken it apart before, and find different ways really to talk about this book. I could be reading something online and oh my God, I'll think of something in the book and then I will talk about it in that. So that part I really love about it. And I also like how the week 5 and 6, the building the 10x network, I like how that was more encouragement to keep on this path, to keep, because now I'm not gonna say, oh, I don't know how to do it. No, I have the resources now, even though it's not, oh, I know this person, I know this person, I know this person. No, it's like now I have the blueprint to build those things, even if I don't have them all now. So there's no excuse anymore. The only excuse is, the only thing left is writing that next book. That's the only thing. But having that, the things that I must do, to make something successful, now I know how to pace myself, even though pacing myself is not my strongest suit, but now I know how important it is and how that ties into publishing and also building a self-publishing business for myself, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
So that I really love that about this program.
Okay. So my next question was, what was your favorite part of the experience? So
Yeah, so I really liked all of it really, but my favorite part of it I already talked about was the part that made me go back into the book. I think that part changed how, because if you write a book, you already know, how the book feels. You already know a lot about the book. But that part made me realize that when I'm communicating that book to someone that has never seen that book, somebody that has never touched it, even someone that doesn't even know anything about poetry, that I have to find a different way to communicate that with them and also relate to them. And it's, I don't know how to say this, relating to people is not, I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't see it as a good thing. I see it as something that just happens when it happens. And if it doesn't happen, I just keep it moving. But from this program, I see how important it is. Like if you want your book to sell, you have to find a way to relate it to people. Because I see it as, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But going through this program, it has really taught me the importance of doing that. And even I try to practice that with my siblings, actually. Two of my sisters that are here, I try to practice that with them. Like when I'm talking about this book, one of them already has some poetry background, but the other one doesn't. But she still loves to read books and all that. But when I talk to her about certain things in the book, I try to pull out some of those things that we talked about in the program to use it when I'm talking to her. And it really works. And that has changed how I show up on social media and how I talk about it. And not just that, that has also changed how, because before I thought this book was just standalone on its own, but that has also changed how I connect this book along with my other writing that's on my website. Because there's only so, personally, I feel like there's only so much you can talk about your writing in a particular book without relating it to your writing in other, your other writing.
It's
So
interconnected.
yeah, so I really love, that was my favorite part about this program. And also Selena is lovely, like come rain come sunshine, even if something happens she still lets you know, and that communication is really important, especially being so far away from me. And it's not like I see her when I go to my local grocery store or run across her. No, I day-to-day basis probably would never run across her because she lives far away from me. So that communication was very, very important to this partnership. It was.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I want to encourage you and other people who have written a book, because in self-publishing, we write because it's something that is important to us, something that we experience, we believe would help others, or we want to get this expression out. And there seems to be two camps. Like, I wrote this book because it's important to me, and if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. um but there truly is an audience for every book. There, it takes work to identify that particular audience, but there are people writing books about everything, like anything under the sun and beyond the sun that you can think of.
Reading about.
Someone is publishing a book about it. And with about 8 billion people on this planet, there are people interested in that topic. And so there's no reason to, have a, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't,
That's it.
mindset, because you can find your audience for that book. And I'm excited that the process that we went through gave you so many different angles to talk about your book, and that is the content framework that we worked on. So
Yeah,
that's pretty exciting that you can connect what you have written, and this is poetry. This is not like current events or
it's not.
self-help. You're able to relate poetry to what is happening in the world and finding a way to talk about it with people, and on social media. So that, I think that's a heavier lift than, I wrote a book about the Democratic Party, and in every hour of the day there's something happening.
Oh yeah.
You can, poetry is a bigger leap, in my opinion, for that.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
um, I'd like to ask, what is something you still need help with?
Something I still need help with, and I think it will come with more practice, is setting up the business of publishing. Like just, and I know it's something that once I start doing it, it will keep, you know, it will keep getting better. You know what I mean? So it's just setting up that business and getting into the taxes of it, like the that part of it, the more business part of it. And that's something I'm currently working on. And to have a successful, self-publishing business where I publish more books, that is something else that I'm going to have to straighten all the way out so that it's something that can, I guess, stand on its own, that I'm not always worried about. So that's something else that I'll have to look all the way into. And then another thing is I already have a team of my little team. um, I have two editors that I love that worked with me on this first book. I have a cover designer that I worked with. I have you. I have what else do I have? I have another cover designer that I was going to work with, but she had so many projects, so I wasn't able to work with her this time. But I really love her work. But another thing that I still need help with is just figuring out the people part of it. But that's also, I feel like that's something that comes with practice. I'm very happy and lucky that the people that I worked with on this book, like, it's been a very smooth process. I found my editors on Readsy, and thankfully none of those horror stories that people talk about, thankfully none of them happened to me. So I will say that I'm going into this very, very lucky. So I don't know if I can successfully say right now that I have the eye for people. Or, all the things that successful business owners say after 10 years. I don't know if I can say that right now, because all this has been, I'm very happy and lucky and thankful that all the people I interacted with in during this book, during this process, have just been forthcoming and just lovely. But that could also be because the platforms I found them on, um, the editors I found on Readsy. So that platform was already set up in a way that even if there was weird stuff going on, it's not a lot. Like, it's set up, people are vetted well. Now, if I went off on my own and I found people on Instagram, on Twitter, that could have been a different story. I don't know. But I'm still very lucky that I went through some place that already has that's already spoken for when it comes to having good editors and that kind of stuff. So that's the part I need help with, is the part that I would never know until I start going down that route of working with different people and getting to see how I relate with other creative people. So, yeah.
Well, if you're fortunate, then this will be a long-standing relationship with this network that you have developed. You pulled some expertise from Reed which that platform is known for really vetting the people that they allow to market
Yeah.
themselves on the platform. They have to jump through a few hurdles to be okay to sell their services there. So kudos to you for looking for a trusted source. And
Yeah.
Hello Seven also is a trusted source for business coaching. So you really went to the right places. So the network is about putting together a team that moves with you as you grow. So hopefully when you're ready to publish your second book, and it may not be poetry, you may be able to use that same team, those same team members. You may be able to use the publishing coaching at a higher level because now you're not at baseline anymore. Now you're at next level, wanting to grow and scale. And that is, my expertise. I can work with clients that are at idea stage and take them to scaling to seven figures revenue in a business, because the business of business
Mhm.
is is the same, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're selling books or you're selling cups, there are things that business operational growth things that are universal. The product and the service is unique, but the process of growing a business, there's a science, there's an art and science to it. It kind of sits right between art and science. So I'm excited about that. So I am ready to get into the portion where we talk about your book.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
I have a question
sure.
um about the streaming. So it's not streaming to my channel, but I wanted to ask which channel you're streaming to, so I can send them to your channel.
Okay, I am streaming to, oh shoot, Oluchi.
Hmm?
I told you I was going to ask a friend to text me,
Yes.
and she said she didn't see anything. So let me kind of shrink us a little bit so I can look at, excuse me, so I can look at what's going on.
Okay. And if it doesn't work, we can also uh, post the recording after.
We can. And so I may have you come back. I'm not kidding. Um, if we're not able to successfully stream this one, we'll come back and we'll just kind of have a segment to talk about your book that will stream live. Um,
Okay.
so I I confess I'm a little new to StreamYard, and I played with it quite a bit yesterday and
Okay.
felt like I had the assurances that we were live streaming.
So it
So,
says I'm in the show.
yeah. And when we are done,
Hmm.
um, I you're gonna need to like stay on camera
Okay.
until it completes uploading, and then that's the step that they said. You
Oh, okay.
All the invitees have to stay on until it's done uploading, but it doesn't shouldn't take that long.
Okay.
Okay, Lord. Uh, I kind of don't know how to do it without exiting the screen. So just I'm gonna step out of the studio for a hot minute um, to see if I can resolve this. Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to go out too? I think I have
Um,
to go out.
let me see. Let me try this button. Having issues. It's not streaming live. So, oh,
Let's see. The name.
when you finish recording. Okay. It's not doing it. So
Okay.
here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. So we don't have to do it twice.
Okay.
We have gotten through the case study portion of this video,
Okay.
and we're going to end it. Um, and then I'm going to figure out the test live stream, and then we can come back. How much time do you have available
Oh, I
to?
have time.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to wind down this particular um, piece of our interview,
Hmm.
and then try to get the live stream going. Okay, so I'm going to hit end recording, and then we're going to stick around until it says it's done, and then we'll try to figure out the other piece.
Okay. And can I is there a way that I can access this recording so I can also post it on my
Absolutely, it's going to record it, and we're both going to be able to have it. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to hit end recording now.
Mm.